So I think it's right that we take a moment and we honor the life of Lieutenant Allison Russo-Elling. She was a paramedic that had actually been one of the first responders at 9/11.
Whoa.
This is her right here. And randomly, when she was just going to get something to eat around the block from her house, she was just senselessly stabbed by just a random dude for no reason.
What the fuck?
Wait,
So
she survived and like helped evacuate the 9/11 peeps, and then recently she just got stabbed for no reason?
Yeah.
What floor?
Oh my god, man.
Do you know what floor she was on 9/11?
I don't know.
It's like a whole thing. This sounds callous to me, but there's like this weird thing where like, if you're talking about 9/11 stories and like your 90th floor or above, people are like, yo. But if you're like, yeah, I was on the 50th floor, everyone's like,
Who says that? Holy
dude,
shit.
it's just weird.
It's just not a big deal, right?
Honestly, it's just this weird. I've gone down this weird rabbit hole where like,
Because you investigate
This is
now.
real?
yeah.
Because they're like, you can go down the stairs way too easy.
The 90th, whatever the fucking
50's a beast, though, still.
Those guys got killed, right? Like those guys got hit hard. So like when the plane went diagonal into the building, that was like 90 or like 88th to like 97th floor or some shit. So it's like, yeah, they have a right to complain. But like that's what happens among 9/11 survivors. Like, what floor? Oh, really? You're on the fucking 55th floor.
Who the fuck's
Obviously, if you're like throwing shade at anybody, if you're throwing shade for anybody in general that was in the building, that's obviously whack. But I do understand giving props to somebody who was fucking like on the 90th floor or something that made it out.
So there's a cat. I read this story too. He was on the 92nd floor, and I'm not kidding. This sounds nuts. Sounds like it shouldn't have happened. He saw one of the planes coming at the window, and he got down in his desk, and he was one of the only people in his entire office floor that survived.
Like the plane went over him or something?
No, the whole room got set on fire, and he just got spared because he like ducked and covered under like this certain desk. And like when he got up, he said he saw the fuselage of the plane. It was like fucking explodes everywhere, fires everywhere. He says like I saw all kinds of fucked up shit. But he's like and then I booked it for the stairs. And then he was one of the few people too where there's no elevators anymore, because it was like all filled with plane fuel and like set on fire. So he's like, I found one of those collapsed pieces of ceiling, and I was able to like go down into like the lower floors from there. But like otherwise, staircases were fucked. Everything else got fucked. He was one of the lucky people who got directed to a certain place. Got lucky.
do you happen
The plane hit the building, bitch.
Do you happen to know if that guy is like one of those people who got lucky but then like feels this like immense guilt?
Probably.
He sounds like it.
Probably,
When he's talking about it. It's wild. But no, he tells the story about, dude, I saw the nose of the plane hit the building. Like, how? Give me a break,
He's
right?
the only person to see that, huh?
He's one of the few.
Man.
Yeah, so at the memorial ceremony, everybody was just like super sad, obviously, but also because not only was she a 9/11 responder, but she also stayed working through COVID, like for the EMS services, and yeah, she was just like a really like a pillar of that community.
Yeah.
And she just literally wasn't doing anything, and just a random crazy guy ran up to her and just stabbed her to death.
God damn.
He goes unpunished.
For nothing. Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah, it super fucking sucks. I know, and it does suck.
How old was she?
She was 60
Ish.
say? Yeah, 60-ish.
Can you say her full name again so we can remember?
It is Lieutenant Allison Russo-Elling. She served for 25 years and she was 61.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Allison Russo-Elling.
Let's go.
It is really funny and kind of lame when people do use 9/11 as a thing. When they're just like, that happened to me when I was selling my motorcycle, and then this kid took it for a test ride and he didn't come back, and I was like, the fuck? And I was calling him, he just left. I thought he stole it. And then his dad gives me a call, and it's just like, hey, my son's pretty embarrassed. He dropped your bike a little ways down the road.
He told me that.
Yeah, and he was like, by the way, I served at 9/11 under New York fire.
Did you say what
Wait,
floor?
that was his segue into it?
should've been
My
like,
son
what floor
dropped
did
your
you
bike, and by the way...
90th? Or
Yeah.
fuck off.
90th or get the fuck out.
Tell me about how he was a
Is
firefighter.
it out?
to use it as a, you can trust me, he's gonna bring it back, it'll be cool, like everything's fine, like I'm up and up. And he came back finally, and I was like, dude, you don't have to be that embarrassed, like it's fine, it's just you dropped your own bike because you bought it, basically. And then I told this kid that, hey, you know your dad started bringing up 911 when he called me, and he's like, oh god, my dad just does it all the fucking time. Like he was so embarrassed.
Do you think he was more embarrassed about dropping the bike or his dad dropping 911?
Yeah. He was more embarrassed about his dad dropping 911
about right.
as like a trust me card
Yeah.
than dropping a fucking test ride.
You know what? To not go against the grain.
Go against the grain, dude.
Please don't.
I'll give it to that dad. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those things.
Context though?
Well, okay, of course we weren't there. We don't know his story or the context, but 9/11 is hands down one of the most fucking impactful things in our entire generation. Somebody who's actually directly a part of it in some way that contributed to some element,
of course,
of actually being helpful. Considering I was in high school and I like as much sympathy as you think you feel, or as much as like, oh, I'm gonna go join the army or whatever, and you don't. It's, you know what I mean. Some definitely fewer people actually participated and did something good. I'll give it to him.
No,
I'll give
of
it to
course.
him.
But then you bring it up to the guy that's your son is buying.
I'm just saying that's a byproduct.
Wow, bro.
That's a byproduct. You know what I mean?
Like, that's why.
Because then it enters that field of like, if he told you that first and said, hey, I served in 9/11, is it cool if my son takes your bike for a ride and just drops it?
Context.
I don't think I would say yes.
What an odd thing.
It's just why even bring it up?
You got me there.
That's like me.
You got me there.
I don't know if I would say yes.
That's like us at Bobo Mofo last night. It's like, hey, I served 9/11. Can I order this? And it's like, what?
Can I get this for free?
It's like, dude,
order your
thank
thing.
you, thank you for your service, a
gives a
million percent, like completely. I respect anybody in New York at all, like during that time. But then the idea of like trying to use it kind of taints it for me a little bit.
I get it.
Because he tries to use it and pass it off, it makes me think he's a liar.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Because if you're really, like, I'm not saying he wasn't, but, well, actually I kind of am. But if you really were 9/11 that way, I'm sure you wouldn't be bringing it up this, like willy-nilly
Because usually the
conversation.
real dudes don't tell their own stories.
Yeah,
It's
the
their
real
buds.
G's.
Their buds tell their stories for
Like the Medal of Honor guys.
Yeah, they go, oh, no, that's nothing, it's whatever.
Or they maybe don't want to think about it all
And
that
they're
much.
usually more sad that like their other homies didn't make it out with them.
Yeah.
That guy might have been opposing.
Right, that's what's sad.
Hey, Cheesecake Factory, 50% off the cheesecake? You know, they don't do that kind of shit.
And you would think that if something like that meant so much to your life, you wouldn't want to devalue it in a situation as worthless as this.
And whore it out like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Like, hey, Cheesecake Factory. So I served during 9/11. Do I get 50% off to go?
Do I have to dine in?
Yeah.
Because on 9/11, it was to go. So I hope it's okay with you guys. Oh, Jesus.
Anthony's got one.
No, semi hot take.
Yeah.
I was at the airport recently, and you know, we had like an hour before our flight, and so we went to this like local airport restaurant thing, right? I don't fucking remember the name of it, but it just had a bunch of random stuff. I ordered some fries or whatever, right? And we're like eating, and then a couple of tables down, there's like this dressed, decked out vet with his wife, but like he looked older, but not old. He's not like an old guy. He just looked like an older man.
60. Does he look
And-
tired?
He looks a little overweight and a little bit, you know, he doesn't look like he's active, but he's dressed up. But I'm not gonna judge.
And he's wearing a military uniform.
Full on military camo, like the whole thing.
Oh, camo.
Yeah, camo. But he's with his wife though.
Okay.
So, but again, whatever. She's regular civilian pedestrian, is that the right word?
Does she have big titties or no?
I couldn't see because it was her back to me. It was her back, but I was totally looking for it, but I couldn't tell. Anyway,
We gotta ask these questions, Ryan.
You have to know.
and then the host comes by. And we're in Hawaii, so like, you know, they're very nice, they're very island.
It's in Hawaii.
Oh, was he on a base maybe?
Right? Maybe.
There's a ton of bases in Hawaii.
Yeah, maybe. Right? And then she goes in, she's like, oh, how's everything? Blah, blah, blah. He's trying to settle up, and he's like, honestly, just the fries were just terrible. Like, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't right. And, you know, it's okay, whatever. And it was just really kind of like that kind of energy. And I could see her entire emotion because I was watching it the whole time. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. You know, really good vibes. And she like walks around. She has to go talk to her manager. She comes back to the register that's right next to us, right? She's like doing some stuff. She reprints the receipt, goes back to him. He's like, hey, I took the fries off the, I like really watched the whole thing. And he was just like, oh, okay, thank you, blah, 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 right? The entire time though, and again, I'm not making any judgments. I just have my own opinion.
Can you just judge?
Just tell us what you saw.
I had fries. I'm eating. I'm like, these are good fries.
These are the best fucking fries ever.
No.
Did they finish the fries though?
There was none. I didn't see anything on the table. Like none of the food was there. So I was
So
like,
they finished the fries.
But I heard the conversation, but I was like, oh man, but these are good fries. But I don't know. Maybe they were bad fries.
Maybe they got a bad batch.
But you were kind of a careful boy, a little guilty boy.
A little bit of me was
What
like.
are you insinuating? That he was trying to like use his vet card to get some free fries?
I didn't say that, man. I didn't say it. Just because it's in the context of a 9/11 situation that wasn't on the 90th floor, I'm not saying that.
You think he was mixing and matching? You think he's like, just give me sweet potato, give me the regular?
Oh, it is kind of
And then he's still like, oh, they're not good that good fries.
I am a patriot.
Yeah, you are. But then again, if we're gonna say that there's veterans that have done really great stuff, we also have to say that it's a high probability that there's a small subset of veterans
He said it.
who take advantage of these.
Position.
Do you think that they're just like, come what may?
What's that mean?
Come what may, all he knows.
That's not that. Yeah, but yes. We can never hit that note.
Did we suck at the
It's an optional note.
Lower at the.
Optional.
The sentiment of the note. It's what the
let-
sentiment of the note.
even my friend.
Again, honor to Lieutenant Allison Russo-Elling. Thank you for your service.
R.I.P.
Oh yeah, and fuck the guy who stabbed her.
Yes, absolutely. Do something about fucking New York, man. This is insane.
Hey, but in New York, come what may.